Well, what do you know? It is card number 130 from that Bowman color set. It's Cass Michaels from the Philadelphia Athletics. And here he is grinning as he makes a play. Don't forget to keep your eye on the ball, Cass. Don't look at the photographer. Watch the ball into your glove, make the throw to first. But he's too busy being excited to be included in this set. And this is a unusual card because it's one of those few spring training photographs that are sprinkled throughout the set. It's definitely not a Major League Park behind Cass Michaels here. Let's take a look at the back. Cass was with three teams in 1952: Washington, the St. Louis Browns, and the Athletics. He was in 22 games for the Senators, 55 for St. Louis, and a like number for the Athletics. It's never a good sign on these old cards when they're just sort of like tallying up how many different teams you've played for. But it's a beautiful looking card. And Cass seems to be pretty excited. So if it's card number 130, you guessed it, it's session number 130 of Card Room Live. If you're new to Card Room Live, welcome to you. However, fair warning, you should know that this is not a show. It is a hangout for fellow vintage collectors. Whether we have guests or not, we're going to waste time talking about and looking at old cardboard pictures of little men playing baseball. And through it all, we're going to try to make it time well wasted. So you've been warned. If you're here with us live, welcome to you. Welcome to the YouTubers out there, to the commenters, to all the folks from all over social media land. If you're new, don't be afraid to say hello. This is the live stream where everybody knows your name. And I want to throw this up on the screen real quick. Wrench holder shouting out Norm, who passed away recently. And I'm going to throw this up on the screen real quick. Rest in peace, Norm. You've been replaced, in this photograph at least, by Don. This was mocked up by our friend Think Blue 77, Jesse, who also threw in some key cards in the background. I also always like that Jesse has decided to always use this picture of me where I look totally spaced out. But yes, rest in peace, Norm. If you're listening to this later, however, you might be going to or coming home from work. You might be sorting cards. You might be looking at eBay. You might be rolling out those meatballs. You might be walking the dog, sitting on the john. You might be putting those kids to bed. You might be wondering, like my buddy Doug DK Cardboard, if you're just hanging on to baseball cards as a distraction to what would otherwise be an existential crisis about the human condition. You know, we're all dealing with it. You might be wondering if Eddie Wakus will come up. Well, he already kind of did. You might be wondering what other kind of Mike Foolery we're going to get into tonight. Well, whatever you might be wondering or thinking, I hope you'll get something out of this. If you have ideas for future sessions or you just want to get in touch, you can reach me at bowman53channel@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Bowman53_Alex. You can also find me on X, 1953 Bowman Color, Blue Sky, Bowman53. And of course, all that information can be found in the description below. This session of Card Room Live is brought to you by Piedmont Cigarettes. For cigarettes, Virginia tobacco is the best. Piedmont is the cigarette of quality. And just a public service announcement, Card Room Live does not endorse smoking of any kind. However, we do endorse pre-war. So good evening to everybody. Happy June. Happy summer to everybody. Happy to be with you all here on a Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see who else is in the chat. Mike, the sports history collector, is here, bringing the Mike foolery as always. Rob is here, Baseball Time Traveler. Drew, Clean Cheap Shots is here. Jayhawker, Vintage Cards. Mike is here. Another Mike. Can't have too many mics. Peacemaker Cards is here. Another wrench holder, Stuke, Baseball Cards and Curiosities is here. You might be appraising a card collection during Card Room Live. That's a new one. Ruben is here. You would really like to see Alex dancing to this intro music. Well, anybody that's been on Card Room Live in the back room have probably seen me kind of like jamming out to the music, because I'll tell you what, every time that music comes on, whatever track it is, it always gets me in the mood. Let's See Sports Cards is here. Hugo, Signs of the Pastime is here. Mangini is here. Peter B is here. Larry is here. Lonely Basement Baseball Cards is no longer lonely because he's here with all of us. Dan's Vintage Baseball PC is here. What's up, Dan? Orlando, A Collector's Dream is here. Hello, Orlando. Mark Hoyle is here. What's up? Mike Petty is here. Who else is here? Called Shots Cards is here. Did I get Stephen with a PH? I think I missed you, Stephen. There you are with a PH. Warren D and the CLE is here. I'm a little slow tonight, guys. I just finished a ton of work, and I'm about to have the summer off, and I went to a company shindig, and I'm still here. I still made it. What's up here? Another Mike, Baseball Collector, one of the first mics. Mookie's here. What's up, Mook? And anyway, yeah, so I'm in a good mood. I just finished up a ton of work. I'm looking forward to my first summer off in I don't know how long. Be a little bit of traveling and some work to do, but my schedule is going to open up, and I'm hoping to put a little bit more time into my channel, a little bit more time into videos and all that good stuff. But it's good to be here with you guys on a Sunday. There's no plan for tonight, no guests, nothing in the works. So if you have a topic or anything you want to talk about, or cards that you want to look up, anything on eBay or otherwise, put it in the chat, and we'll throw it up, and we'll see if we can get something to get cooking here. I will also put the link in the chat if anybody wants to hop on, share some cards, share some stories. If you want to hop in for a quick second and show some cards and hop out again, or if you want to stay on for the hour, it's going to be up to you. I will post that link in a few moments if you want to take this opportunity to rustle around in your card room and get some cards pulled to share with the chat. Otherwise, get used to some silence, guys, because we're not afraid of silence in this chat. But before we do all of that, I do want to mention something that I've neglected to mention for a couple of live streams. And I wanted to make sure that I mentioned this because I didn't want anybody to think that I forgot that there's a contest going on. The Crummy Hat contest is still going on, guys. I'm giving Mookie way too much love here. I got to take this off the screen. The Crummy Hat contest is still underway. The cutoff is going to be next Sunday, I've decided. So there's still time to participate. If you don't know what the Crummy Hat contest is, don't worry, I'm going to explain it. And I'm going to go ahead and finally show the current entries that we have in the Crummy Hat contest, so that you can see what your competition is if you, in fact, do have a Crummy Hat and want to participate. Crummy Hat contest was an idea I had, gosh, maybe a month or two ago now. I don't even remember. It's been a while. I was doing some yard work, and I took my Phillies cap off. Not this cap, although some people might say this is a Crummy Hat. I took this cap off. This is the cap that I use when I'm doing yard work or I'm outside or whatever. I took it off, and I was like, I don't know what struck me about it. I was like, I'm going to do a contest because I bet other people in this community have crummy hats just like this. Hats that are just like falling apart, dirty, barely held together, that you just can't get rid of. Maybe you wear them for specific tasks like doing work or whatever, or maybe it's just a crummy hat that you just haven't gotten rid of. So I took a picture of it. I was like, I'm going to make a contest. So I mentioned this a few weeks ago, and I've gotten some great submissions. So I'm going to share the submissions that I have so far. And if you're here and you want to share the story behind the cap, you can put it in the chat, or maybe you can jump in the live stream and share your story. We're not going to vote on these today, but there will be a winner announced next weekend. So we'll look at these caps again, but I'm going to go through these now. So this was sent in to me from Anthony P, who is, I don't believe is a YouTuber, but is a longtime listener / viewer of Card Room Live. This is how I got to meet Anthony, was through this contest, which was kind of cool. And Anthony sent me a really nice email and sent me this cap and told me a little bit about what he does for a living and that he's had this cap for a long time and submitted it. And Anthony, if you're out there tonight or if you're listening to this later, appreciate your email. And you are entered, and next weekend we'll see how it goes. But regardless, it was cool that you reached out. And on a side note, I'll say, especially for those of us that are on social media and have channels like YouTube and so on, you just never know who's out there, who's listening, who's watching. Not all of them are the people that are leaving comments necessarily, but they're out there. And, I think it's important for all of us that are YouTubers and social media folks to make sure that we appreciate those people as well, because not everybody necessarily has the time to comment or is inclined to comment, but that doesn't mean that they're not enjoying what we do. So Anthony, thanks again. So everybody knows who this guy is. I don't even need to say anything. I'll just let this seep in. Don was kind enough to give me another angle just to show me in detail just how crummy this hat is. I have no problem with a Crucky hat or a crummy Phillies hat. Dan, my crummy hat has been off at PSA and is expected back in November with an authentic grade, I'm guessing, Dan. So Don is entered. Thank you, Don. Don, do you have any stories you want to share in the chat about this hat? Here's a fantastic entry from Drew. Clean, cheap shots. Drew even went to the trouble of adding his story to a fairly recent video that he did, which was a lot of fun. And if you don't know Drew, Clean, Cheap Shots, you should, and you should go find his channel and subscribe to it. But maybe somebody can put his channel link in the chat. But this was a fantastic entry, and Drew has some amazing stories about his hat and how long he's had it, and some of the drama that his hat has been through. And Drew also gave me some close-ups of this cap. So Drew, appreciate you sharing your cap and your stories. Again, if you haven't seen that video, you should go check out that video on Drew's channel and hear that story. It's a story worth hearing. Next up is a Tigers cap. It's always nice to see a Tigers cap because we don't necessarily have I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, I don't feel like we have a ton of Tigers fans in our community. So this is from Kurt from Brooklyn, who is another Card Room Live regular who doesn't necessarily use social media, but he's been on Card Room Live a handful of times and is a great collector. And he reached out to me and sent me this cap. Kurt, I don't know if you're here, but thanks for sending this in. And this says the 5950 is the only cap worn on the field of play by every Major League Baseball player. I feel like Kurt had a story too, but this was sent to me a few weeks ago, so I'm forgetting. So maybe if Kurt's here, he can share that story. If not, that's okay. Maybe next weekend. So here's our first rule breaker. We always have rule breakers on Card Room Live, and one of the best at breaking rules is Max Jackson. So instead of sending one cap, Max sent 2 caps, because he's just trying to increase his chances, I guess. So 2 really well-loved San Francisco caps from Max at Max Jackson. And we have another rule breaker because he just has to live on the edge. It's our friend Mookie Chilson. It was supposed to be a sports cap. And I'm pretty sure the first thing Mookie said was, "I know it's supposed to be a sports cap, but I don't care, Alex." He didn't say that, but that's what I remember reading. So this is Mookie's cap, late night with David Letterman, and he took some detailed shots of how the cap is falling apart and how he's basically trying to hold it together with some string and some thread. And you can see all the plastic holders are tearing off. I mean, Mookie's really going for it. He's showing all the detail of just how terrible this hat is. Thank you, Mookie. And looks like a couple other people have some of these. Does the hat have a pinhole? That's a great question. I mean, I feel like it does, because it looks like he's come up with this sort of haphazard way of keeping the cap together. Yeah, exactly. Like Mike Petty's saying, it's literally hanging by a thread. Yeah. I noticed that Mookie's so ashamed he's not saying anything in the chat. It's okay, Mookie. I'm gonna allow it. Here's another Dodger cap. We got a lot of Dodger fans in this community. This is from Rick Acosta, and I appreciate that Rick took this cap photograph outside. I don't know the story behind this cap, but I'm going to guess that Rick uses this when he's doing outdoor work, or maybe not. Maybe he just wanted to put it in a nice environment. So Rick, appreciate you sending this cap in. And our currently last cap, although I literally just got a text from Mike, sports history collector. Currently our last entry as of this moment, although I hope some of you other guys will send me some. This is from RJ and Jake at Father Son Vintage Cards and Comics. So this must be RJ's cap, and I appreciate he put the little channel logo there, little sticker. Looks like this is a Yankees Division Series cap. It looks like it's 2006 Yankees cap. That looks like it's been through some things. It's funny because there's a lot of caps now that are pre-worn, like you can buy it having already been worn, but I'm going to guess this one is way past that. This is legit falling apart. I would say, at least so far, that RJ's cap is the one that looks like it's about to disintegrate at any second. Yeah. Okay, there's Mookie. RJ saved that hat in a fire. I'm glad that RJ survived. that hat has been through a bandsaw. So those are the hats I have so far. It's kind of fun looking at all these caps. And those of you that have turned in a cap, I hope you can be here next Sunday. Maybe you can hop on the stream and share some stories of your caps. If you still want to enter, I hope some of you guys will. Just email me some photographs of your cap to Bowman53channel@gmail.com. The cutoff will be next Sunday night before the live stream. I'll try to make a YouTube post about it, but this is your main warning. So if you want to do it, make a note for yourself. Take a picture this week. Send me an email. It's kind of fun to see all these hats together. And next Sunday I'll do a drawing, and there'll be a prize of some kind. So yeah, crummy hat contest. Oh, did you, Mike? I think I got two, Mike. Oh no, it was you. It was you, Mike. Okay. The other Mike has still not sent me a cap. Okay. Big Six, did you send me a cap? Because if you did, I may have missed it. Let me go check my email. You guys are just going to have to hang out while I check my email. If anybody sent me an email or a text with a cap and you didn't see it, let me know or send it to me again, because that was definitely not intentional. I don't believe a lot of these guys actually wear their hats. There's no evidence of them wearing it. That's a good point. Fair enough, Don. Did you? Did you really? I don't know that I got that either, Mike. Maybe all these emails are like sitting. Oh, wow. Do I have any emails that are like sitting in spam? No. I don't see it. I'm just going to type in hat. Yeah, see? Oh man, I have found one, but it's not you, Mike, and it's not Big Six. So I'm gonna have to. It's a good thing that I don't count votes, right, guys? It's a really good thing that I have nothing to do with counting votes, because I'm not doing a very good job at this. To be fair, I've had a rough couple months work-wise, so I can really focus on crummy hats. A little bit better now. You texted it. Can you do me a favor and send it to me again, Mike? Because I may have missed it. And if you can do it, like, send it to me separately. Jerry. Jerry, I definitely did not get your cap photograph. So if you want to send it to me again, I'll let you know if it gets through. If anybody sends me an email, I'll make sure to get back to you so that you know I got it. Cool. Well, that was fun, right, guys? Just another night in Card Room Live. Mike, if you want to send me your crummy hat, I'd be honored. But yeah, just photograph. Okay. Well, guys, does anybody have any topics or cards that they want to look up? I'll put the link in the chat if anybody has pulled some cards and want to show some cards. Or yes, that's right. Text your dirty pics to me, yeah, please. Mookie. Mookie, you're asking for timeout. Here's the link if anybody wants to hop in. Mike, I see your crummy hat. I see both Mike crummy hats. Mike's got a PSA cap. I'll show all these next week. Make sure that I download properly. Baseball collector. There it is. Sports collector. Mike, sports history. Hey, Tony. Good to see you, man. Don't wear caps much, so mine all look new. Yeah, that's a good point, Tony. Now that I think about your videos, you're not really wearing caps that often, if ever. College shot cards. Have you thought about your next video yet? Yeah, actually, I'm glad. I appreciate you asking. Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot since I finished the Jackie Robinson. It's definitely going to be about this guy and this particular card. I've got the idea figured out, and I've been doing research. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about this book. This is a pretty popular book. It has become pretty popular in the past, I don't know, 5-10 years. It's changed a lot of people's minds. It's changed my mind. I've read it already, but I'm kind of going back through it and kind of been thinking a lot about Tai Cobb. And I have another book here that is perhaps less known, which I haven't really gotten into as much, which is this book, which is actually, I think, a lot of anecdotal stuff directly from Cobb himself. His opinion on the game at the time and just different players and strategy and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'm working on that video. I really have not had much time at all to work on it. My channel's been pretty quiet. But I'm hoping that I can work on stuff like that a little bit more over the summer. So looking forward to it. And the thing about, for me, making videos, I really enjoy the process. It's fun. It's fun to get to sit down and think about it and do research and read about players and games and history and cards. It's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to having the time to sit down and do that again. We got a visitor, guys. Jerry, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
This is my hat.
Oh, nice.
It's military. I stuck an Oiler pin on it.
Okay. That makes it count. Absolutely.
The story is with the hat is that I was a plane director on an aircraft carrier during Vietnam.
Wow.
So that was a carrier I was on.
Ticonderoga. Great.
Yeah. Anyway, since you were talking about Cobb, I thought I'd show a few Cobb cards.
Okay.
That's all right with you.
Let's see them.
Okay.
Wow.
It's got a lot of glare on it.
Yeah, it's a beauty. And I love the little silhouettes of the players at the bottom of it. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Sorry about the glare.
Jerry, do you have a favorite Cobb?
I like the bat on shoulder. You know, the green Cobb has passed me by as far as money goes.
Sure.
But I'd like to have the bat off shoulder. But I have the red and the bat on shoulder.
Right.
I probably got them in the 90s when they were really cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I got this yesterday at a card show.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
You know, he doesn't have a lot of cards. That's one of my favorites of his.
yeah. Yeah, it's the same pose as the 50, but a little larger.
Right.
Yeah. But that year of 51, he led the league in WAR. I think it was like he had a 10 WAR or something. Just had a great year. Now, missing 3 years in the military, and he had 500 and, I don't know, 23 homers, something like that. But a couple years before he went into service, he had 36 homers and 37. And then his first year back, he had like 30 something, 37, I think, something like that. Anyway, if he would have hit, let's just conservatively, if he would have hit, let's say 100 homers in those 3 years, he would have been at 600 and 623, something like that. He'd be right. He'd be close to Mays.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a set that was put out just for the Pirates. They had won the championship in 1909, and it's tip-top bred. But this is Deacon Philippe, and he won 3 games in the 1903 series. But Lever was wore out, and they, you know, that was their 1-2 punch. And but they lost. They lost the series, but he won 3 games in that series. And that was the first series. And Cy Young won 2 games for Boston. But yeah, the others, Sam Lever was wore out. And he couldn't hardly pitch, and I think he lost a couple games. But Philippe won 3 games in that series.
I've seen the Wagner from that set, but it's a great looking set.
Yeah, the Wagner is a monster card.
Yeah.
It's a Grail card. I don't know, for some reason, I accumulated quite a few Lajoies. This is one of my favorite T206s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a beautiful card. And then the caramel cards I just love caramel cards.
Yes.
You know, they just got a charm to them. They're great little pieces of artwork. This one, you got rouge and lipstick, but I love the card. That's a
what?
That's an E96. E96.
Okay, yeah. Is that the set where they all have the sort of the red background?
No, they're all kind of portraits, but I think they're different colored backgrounds.
Oh, okay.
But they're mostly all portraits. There's a few action shots, but most of them are portraits. And then this is the same as a T206, but a different background. It's a E93, and it's the same as the throw-in T206, but it's got a red background. It's a little cheaper. When I bought it, it was a little cheaper than the actual. But anyway, that's some of my cards. I just love caramel cards.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like here's a Hal Chase in a green background. Just a beautiful emerald green background on it.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't they just allow some of these guys to be elected if they get the votes,
I guess they're eligible. Yeah.
like Chase and Joe Jackson and Pete Rose and
Right.
Cott. Anyway, that's some of the. I've showed this one before, but this is my favorite Madison card.
And that's in fantastic shape. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a 3, but it's clean 3.
Yeah.
And the only Wagner I got is one of the cheaper ones that Cody's chip.
Right.
You know, it's the same. It's a Horner portrait, same as T206. It's just Kogan's chip. Well, that's all I have. That's all the cards I was.
That's it, Jerry. Okay. Well.
So you can take me off if you want to.
All right, Jerry. Hey, appreciate you showing up. So
sure.
I'll take a picture of our video here. That'll be your entry for the hat.
Well, you know how to do that. It ain't. I lost the Oiler pin already, so.
Oh, it's all good. Appreciate you.
I had season tickets during the Love You Blue when Earl Campbell was running amok. Okay. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that.
No.
but he was running over everybody. But anyway, all righty. Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Definite fire. What's up? Chris from Missouri's here. Absolutely. Thank you for your service and for showing your awesome cards. If you're not already subscribed to Jerry's channel, maybe somebody else can quickly find his channel link and post Big Six in the chat in case anybody's not already subscribed to Jerry's channel. Not that anybody wants to follow that up, but if you have cards, want to hop in, say hello, show a card or two, the link is in the chat. Can Scott draw a crummy hat? I have no doubt that Scott can draw a crummy hat if he wants to do it. I wouldn't put it past him. I agree. I just saw this comment from Orlando. Caramel cards are underrated, but beautiful. Max is currently tearing up his modern collection for some reason. Max, I showed your San Francisco caps earlier, if you missed it. Reindeer Studios, only known for drawing pristine caps. I have a lot of problems with you people, and it's time for the airing of grievances. You should do that. There should be like one card room live session every year, which is like Festivus. Scott draws hats for bats. Man, what's going on with you guys? What is going on in the chat? One petty minute for everybody. That's great. I also wanted to mention on air publicly that Stuke, I have not forgotten that you won the wrench holders contest. That was like 3 months ago or something, but I have not forgotten. I have a note right here. So I will be reaching out to you for your address with a prize soon enough. Cardroom Live always lives up to its word and its promises. Not really, but in this case, we will. There's Jerry's channel. The Big Six cards. If you're not subscribed to Jerry's channel, look it up. Subscribe. Thank you, Scott. Well, we got about 15 minutes, guys. I'm okay. I'm okay with the silence if you are. Every now and then, I have this idea that there will be one Card Room Live session that will be completely in silence from start to finish. But I would want to have guests that were also in silence. I can think of a few people that would be willing to do it. It would be the session to end all Card Room Live sessions. Yeah, I was thinking of you. Stu should have more than a wrench. He should have the whole toolbox. That's great. I wish there were different icons. I really do. You can't be on the silent episode, really? You don't strike me as someone that's unable to chat. Or sorry, unable to not chat. We got another guest, guys, who perhaps has some cards and some stories. Vaughn, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm doing good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. I can show you a few cards if you got a few minutes.
Please, go for it.
I will show you a couple cards I got from Strongsville, even though I did not attend Strongsville. Basically, Sammy Thunder did a video that showed some various tables at the show, and I saw a stack of cards just sort of in passing. I thought, I wonder if that has what I want in there. So I had the email, and I reached out to the guy and I said, do you have this? And he did. And so I picked up 2 Caramel Deportivo of Hector Rodriguez.
Fantastic.
A couple Cuban cards there.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you real quick, Vaughn, how many of those do you have so far?
Of Hector Rodriguez or just a Caramel?
Just Caramello, yeah.
Just these 2.
Okay, all right. Because I find that whole set like fascinating.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful set. It's a beautiful set. I was going to do a joke that I exclusively collect cards of players who beat ostriches in eating contests.
Okay.
To which then I would show this Sporting News supplement of Frank Ping Bodie. Apparently, as part of a promotion, he did a spaghetti eating contest against Percy the ostrich and won.
Wow.
After 12 plates, the ostrich passed out, and he did not.
I've got so many questions. Like, was it just straight up spaghetti, or was there meat sauce, or like?
Oh, I don't know. I was reading that from the Saber bio.
Okay.
He also was roommates with Babe Ruth, and they asked him what it was like to room with Babe Ruth. He goes, I just roommate with his luggage.
Right, yeah, right. Babe Ruth is not somebody who's going to be at home.
Yeah, he lived it up.
Vaughn, somebody's asking if you have a channel.
I do not. I had one for a while last year, and I got rid of it because I really couldn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's just.
We've talked about it before, but the cool thing is you can jump on these live streams. So
yeah,
maybe you'll revive a channel at some point.
Okay. And Max at Jackson, if you want to email me, bond.spalding@gmail.com.
Great.
Spalding like the basketball that the NBA doesn't use anymore.
Right.
I did want to show one quick modern card if I can.
Sure.
I want to show one of a guy who's hit 500 home runs. This is a 20 that most people probably haven't seen before. This is a 2017 SSC of the Korean Baseball Organization's all-time home run king, Choi Jong. He hit his 500th KBO regular season home run this year.
Nice.
And I collect guys who have 500 professional home runs, and there's not that many of them outside of the American League and National League who have 500 home runs all in one league. You have a handful in Nippon Professional Baseball and him. Because everyone else who has 500 or more home runs played in 2 or 3 different leagues to pull those together.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, I'm a Phillies fan. Kyle Schwarber just hit his 300th home run. I think it was like last week or the week before, and they were speculating, do we think he can make it to 500 with the career span that he's got left? And they were saying, it's within the realm of possibility, but I mean, I think that's a cool PC just to be sort of collecting those guys.
Yeah, I like Kyle Schwarber. He's a former IU guy, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'll show just one more. I picked up the all-time minor league hit king. This is Arnold Stats. This is a Z-Nut card.
Oh, nice.
And I was reading up about him recently. And he played with a hole in his glove. Now, as someone who has watched the Cubs for 30 years, I've seen players act like they have a hole in their glove.
Sure.
But I've never known one to actually play with a baseball-sized hole in their glove.
So what was the reasoning?
He said that it gave him a better feel for the baseball.
Huh.
I guess he knew that when he could hear the middle finger bone in his palm break, it was time to catch the ball.
Yeah, right.
And he was called the best center fielder. Duke Snider said he was the best center fielder he had ever seen. Now, granted, he had also played in the same time as Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays. He said Arnold Stats was the best, which I think is just fascinating.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I always am a fan of seeing Z-Nut cards. I feel like there's like really cool designs and players with interesting stories all over those sets. Cool. Well, Vaughn, appreciate you sharing some cards.
Hey, thanks for letting me be on here.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'll see you next time.
See you. Take care.
All right. Yeah, he's been doing better, Mookie, of late, but I appreciate the jab. Well, guys, we've got like 10 minutes left. Any last thoughts, questions, topics, crummy hats before we wrap up? Next time we'll do the crummy hat drawing, but I would like to hop on eBay, do an old-fashioned eBay search with y'all and look at some cards. We'll do that next time. What do we have coming on at 9 p.m. on on 4 collectors. Set collectors from the 1967 top set. Dan will be in there. Mitchell will be in there. A whole bunch of folks. A third, like Max, I don't really need a third, but you just can't help yourself. Went right through the webbing, huh? That reminds me of like my very, very first baseball glove that I got when I was like 5. That was made out of plastic, and as soon as I tried to actually use it, the ball definitely went through the webbing. Yeah. I only have one, which is the one that I always show, which is the one that Scott gifted me. Maybe Scott sent me this so that I would stop talking about Eddie Waitkus, but the opposite happened. It just brings him up even more. Is it? Jerry, I still feel like the T206 Cobb bat off shoulder is my all-time favorite baseball card, which might surprise some people to hear, but I really truly think the bat off shoulder is my favorite baseball card of all time. I don't have it. I would like to get it at some point. But if it weren't for that card, I would say probably this is my favorite Cobb card. Oh, did you? Okay, well then it worked. It totally worked, Scott. John Keeney sent me a pirate hat that the inside is absolutely disgusting. Can I include that one? Yes, you can. And it also has this added element of having come from John. That's really funny. Max sent a third hat. And this is this is the hat Max just sent, his third hat for entry in the Crummy Hat contest. You probably can't see the ghost, but you can see the hat. And actually, holding it up here, it looks even crummier than it does right here. Touche, Max. Chasing Majors, what's up? You came at an opportune time. It's really quiet in here. Max is making bad jokes, and we've only got a few minutes left. It's probably for the best. All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed this live stream about nothing, give it a thumbs up. It's appreciated. A reminder that the Crummy Hat contest is still going on. It goes on until next Sunday night at 8 p.m. when I will draw a winner. If you want to participate in the Crummy Hat contest, send me a photograph of your Crummy Hat to bowman53channel@gmail.com, and you will be entered in the contest. Next Sunday, after the drawing, or we might do the drawing at the end of the stream, but I want to get on eBay with you guys and look at some cards and do some window shopping for cards. We have some other stuff planned though for the month of June. Just to give you guys some ideas, we'll be looking at some magazines and programs, have some people lined up for that. have a special guest that has not been on. I don't think he's been on YouTube. That I met at the National last year, and all I'm going to tell you is it's going to be great because it's all Philadelphia athletics material. And then we're also going to have another guest who I don't think has been on YouTube, or at least he hasn't been on Cardroom Live. And that's going to be looking at his collection, in particular talking about and looking at his Negro Leagues PC. So looking forward to that stuff. But next Sunday will just be a plain old regular nonsense live stream like today. So we'll see you guys next Sunday night. Stay tuned for 4 Collectors at 9 p.m. Until next Sunday night, guys, send me some crummy hats. Have a great week. Take care.